Pastor Brian from Summit Church here. VBS is next week, and I imagine many of you watching this asked yourselves a question, even those of you without kids. But there's a second question I want all of us to be asking whenever we have events like this. That question is the topic for this week's edition of Wednesday's Words with Pastor Brian. Those of you who are parents probably asked yourselves whether you would sign your kids up for VBS. That's the natural question, right? Will we participate, or are we going to be on vacation next week? Now, I know some of you without kids asked whether you would volunteer. Some of you even put that on the communication card last Sunday. Now, Ryan's team is pretty well in place, and everyone who works with kids has to go through our whole background check process. So it's a little harder to volunteer for kids ministry last minute. But either way, those are good and natural questions because we obviously want kids to attend VBS, and we need volunteers to make programs like this happen. But like I said, there's a second question that I'd like to become natural as well. This question is, who will I invite to VBS? This question is important because it originates from an outwardly focused point of view. It's really easy for churches to adopt a standpoint that the programs are for us. And that's partially true, but it's also true that God put Summit Church at the corner of Overland and 5 Mile for a reason. This church was originally started with the mission of reaching Southwest Boise with the gospel, and that mission continues today. You can see it on the wall behind me. I'm here in the sanctuary, and you see this banner, this panel every Sunday that we share the gospel with those around us. And in order for that to happen, each of us needs to own our part of that mission. It begins with identifying people around us who need Jesus, and then seeing things like VBS as opportunities to invite them. Part of the reason we have events like VBS or Family Water Day with a 100-foot slip and slide or outdoor movie night is to provide easy access points for all of us to invite others. Yes, those are fun events for us as a church family. Who doesn't like a 100-foot slip and slide? But they're also events where folks can come and check out Summit Church outside of our Sunday worship service and see that we're regular people. Sometimes this is called pre-evangelism because when people come, they have a good time. At things like outdoor movie night, they're much more open to coming to things where the gospel will be shared on things like Easter. So VBS is now less than a week away. Who do you know that you could invite? It could be neighbors, could be friends from your kid's soccer team or t-ball team. We have invitation cards. They look like this. They've got a QR code that'll take you right to the registration site. We'll have these at Sunday. You can pick them up, or you can send folks right to our website where they can register. This is an outwardly focused question. Now, I understand that you have no control over how people will respond to your invitation. That's something they're going to decide, right? But we do have control over whether we invite them. In fact, I even think we should measure success, not only by how many people come, but also by how many invitations went out. It's a different way of viewing things, an outwardly focused way. And as a church family, that's the perspective I hope we adopt on everything we do. Because when that happens, we ask different questions. We see the church as something not only for us, but for others as well.